somewhere along the way, you forget who you were. You forget that you was that dude. You forget that you were that girl. And a lot of things can play a factor in this. Life be lifing. You may have lost your spouse. You may have lost a job. You may have failed that test. You may have just have life throwing punches any and every way. And it made you start feeling less about yourself. And I'm going to let you know, life is not going to be easy. We're going to have our tough times. We're going to have our tough seasons in life. But we can't add on to the pressure by talking down on ourselves. We have to make sure that we reaffirm in ourselves, even if we're not hearing it from somebody else. You used to be confident. You used to say things like, I'm going to figure it out. Now you're ready to give up and quit. You used to be able to overcome some of the small things that you're ready to crash out about. And that's what this episode is about. So, what up, though? Good morning. Welcome to the Pick Your Side podcast, where we just talk about real life and things that's going to make you a better person. This week episode is about affirmations and just reminding yourself who you are, regardless of what's going on in life. We need to get back to that. So we're going to touch on that this week. So the reason why I decided to do this episode is because I was talking to a couple of people while I was out driving Uber these past couple of weeks. And man, the common theme is people don't believe in themselves no more. People don't believe in the ability that they have or the skills that they had because of a few things that had happened. And the common things were they lost a job. I talked to a few people that ended a long relationship. They either with a boyfriend or their husband or wife, or they got denied a position, or it was something like, what was it? Another common thing that a lot of people was talking about was they was getting denied a job, and they went to school for 4 years, did everything they were supposed to do, and didn't get a job. So they let that become their identity. They start thinking less of themselves. And there's a couple of people that I know personally, and I seen it happen to them, and I had to just let them know. I think you forget who you were, my dog. You used to be this confident person. You used to walk into whatever room you was in, and you let your light shine. But now you walking around tiptoeing in life, or you feeling bad about yourself. Nah, I need you to reaffirm yourself. I need you to get back to who you were, even in these bad seasons of your life. I was talking to one of my dogs, and we was having a conversation, and life just been life, and it been throwing after punches. I'm not gonna go too much in detail about what we talked about and what he's dealing with. And I was just like, man, this is a common thing, because I done talked to some of my regular Uber passengers, and they was saying the same thing. It's just that they was letting life beat them up, and they started feeling less than, or they wasn't as confident in themselves or their abilities before. So I had to remind them of the person they were when I met them, when everything was going good, and the way that they were speaking, just the confidence coming off of them in our conversations, or seeing them in action, walking into different rooms with their head held high, their chest out, them walking comfortably and achieving things. And I told them, man, you need to tap back into that person that you were when everything was going good. You can't let all life trouble tear you down, stress you out, where you start feeling less about yourself. That's when you get into deep depression, and that can lead to suicide, or that can lead to just you picking up more bad habits. That can lead to drug addiction or anything. So I need you to tap back into that. And that just brought me back to my childhood. I remember when I was growing up, and especially centered around school, when I would ask certain family members to help me with my homework. I remember one of my family, I'm not gonna say who it was, but they told me I was a RMFer. I'm trying not to say the cuss words because I don't want to get banned on the internet or whatever. Or you was a stupid B, or you slow and all that. And even when I moved to Tennessee, my auntie told me that I would never be nothing because I got a Detroit public school education. And then I had teachers that would point me out. One, I talk with a list, and then I'm from the north, they from the south. So of course I pronounce stuff differently because of the accent. But they would intentionally pick me out in front of everybody, class, laughing and everything. So it was a slight moment where I thought less of myself, or I thought that I wasn't smart enough. But then I just had to remind myself of who I was. And some days it was harder than others. So I'd be in the mirror looking like I am smart, tears coming down my eyes. I can do this. I can figure this out. I know I can do this work. And so that's when it started for me, writing down affirmation. I use some of the same affirmations then in my current life. I'm gonna give you some of the ones that I use, and depending on what season I'm in, they change. But I do have a solid core. So some of them are, I am, in this season of my life right now, I am a great husband. I am a great father. I am a great leader. I will be able to impact this world and change this world. I will be able to help kids that come from the hood like I did to overcome and make the right decisions to get to where they want to go. I will be able to create generational wealth for my family. And I also will be able to break generational curses in my family so that we can live a better life. I am handsome. I am a good speaker. I do have the ability to figure out things that I need to figure out to be able to get to where I want to go. I do have the resources and everything that I need inside of me to be successful. So that's some of my daily affirmations that I say. Like I said, in certain areas, in certain seasons of my life, I may add or I may subtract. But anytime I start feeling low or second guessing myself too much, I tap back into my affirmations. So I need you to do the same thing. So if you don't have the affirmations that you need right now, I'm gonna give you 10 Bible verses that help me in times that I need help. So number one is, and I'm gonna read them off to you because I don't have them all memorized. So number one, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That's Psalms 139 verse 14. I am chosen and set apart. That's John 15 verse 16. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's Philippians 4:13. I am forgiven and redeemed. That's Ephesians 1:7. God is with me wherever I go, so you're never alone. That's Joshua 1:9. Romans 8:37. I am more than a conqueror. And then I am deeply loved by God. Jeremiah 31:3. I am never alone. That's Hebrews 13 verse 5. And then God power works through me. That's Romans 8:11. And then my go-to one is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declared the Lord. Plans to prosper you, and plans not to harm you, plans to give you hope and in the future. So that just reminds me of whatever you're going through or whatever you're dealing with, it's just part of God's plan. And he gonna make you, he gonna get you through it. So you just need to lean on him and trust him and just trust the process. But if you haven't already, I need you to go ahead and just write down 10 affirmations and 10 good things that you love about yourself. And I want you to just practice daily so you can build your confidence back up and so that you can get back to the person that you are and just get your energy back. So I need you to pick your side. Are you going to keep letting all your failures and just the punches life throw at you define you? Or are you going to speak life into yourself and you're going to reaffirm yourself and you're going to remind yourself of who you are and who God told us we were before we was even born? So pick your side, but thank you for checking out this episode. Have a great day, be blessed, and have a great week.